God's people out of the earth and then profess yourself to be everything. If you want to know where your identity is, look at the one that have multiple identities. One of them may be yours. One of them, no, it's in my bag. It's just in that brown bag. Sister, that's just left in the car, yeah. Read on, read.
That she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for times, and half a time from the face of the serpent.
So here it is. Israel ran into Africa, around the Atlas Mountains. And then what happens? Read.
And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood.
Cast out his mouth waters as a flood. He cannot get the people through just a sword with the Roman Empire, so what they use? Religion. That flood is the lies that came from the Holy Roman Catholic Church, the mother of all harlots. She would come and she would act like a lamb, but she would speak as a dragon. Everywhere the Catholic Church went was blood and Christianity. That was the flood that came out to take out God's people that Satan used. Not the Christianity that Christ was bringing. Because when I read the Bible, you know that what we're doing in these churches could be nothing near what Christ was teaching. Nothing near it. The fact remains, if you want to hide the truth, just put it in the book. Our history book was there the whole time. But we're just waiting for our preacher to get the information to give it to us before we believe it. That's the problem. You need to get it and go teach your preacher. Read. Read.
And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood.
So the people that bear Christ, Satan had a plan to take these people down, nation by nation, and tear them down. The easiest way to destroy a people is to have them trust you. To have them trust you. I'm your friend. I'm your buddy. I'm your pal. The flood came out and took God's people. Who are God's people? No one had been perceiving that the Indians that were here in this land are actually from the tribes of the lost tribes of Israel. Before I get that information, get me the Bible dictionary and read Ham out of the Bible dictionary. We made a statement. We made a statement that the Negroes here in America are not African. Even Zondervan, the compiler of the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, understood this. Read the definition of Ham.
Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races.
He became the father of the dark races.
Not the Negro.
Not the what?
Not the Negro.
Even though that Ham is not the father of us. But who?
But the Egyptian,
Africans,
Ethiopian,
Africans,
Libyan,
Africans,
and Canaanite.
Canaanites, South Africans. You're not from either of those 4 families, and they even know this. They needed a flood to take you down. They needed to take you down mentally, to make you disconnect, to have you disconnect from your God. And those that have this information that we're teaching were killed in slavery. And their children was taught the new wine of Babylon. Their children was taught the new wine of Babylon. Now, get me Revelation 17. Revelation 17. So how are we going to bring this to an apex? Somebody get me an Apocrypha real quick. Get 2 Kings 17. See, that's the problem. We don't understand the Bible is a history book, man. You're going into the book to try to sing and dance out of it. This book is a path, it's a map. It's the answers to our questions. Who are we? Before you can be utilized, you must first find yourself. It was no coincidence when we were growing up and we went into the Bible, we would see Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo European pictures in our Bible. That was not a coincidence. That was for the children. They knew you couldn't read, but a picture says 1,000 words. If you go through this book and you can't recognize yourself, you don't equate yourself to the book. So now instead of you reading and finding out the truth, you go into Islam thinking that that book is a European book. The Bible is not a European book. Christ was not a European, he was an Israelite. Drop everything. I'm going to get all that later. Give me 2 Kings 17 and 21. We're going to show you how the Indian tribes got here. The Balikwa Taino Indians. The Puerto Ricans. Who is from the tribe of Ephraim. We found all this out. Because Jacob told his children what would befall them in the last days in Genesis the 49th chapter. By reading Genesis the 49th chapter, you would recognize who would be the children of Israel in the last days. It's easy. It's not hard. Deuteronomy the 20th chapter tells us that God's people would go into slavery again with ships. So how can the people that financed the slave trade be the people? No, the people on the boats are living the curse. The cursed people are the children of Israel. Give me 2 Kings 17. Okay. Give me 2 Kings 17. What's up, brother? Huh? You're going to get it. Just sit right there. I'm going to talk to you.
What you mean an hour?
2 Kings 17.
What you mean an hour?
And read 17. Read.
And they caused their sons and their daughters to pass through the fire, and used divination and enchantments, and sold themselves to do evil in the sight of the Lord, to provoke him to anger.
So what happened? What happened was Jeroboam, which is Ephraim, started training or teaching his people to do evil. We're talking about the 10 tribes before they came here to the Americas. Read.
Therefore the Lord was very angry with Israel, and removed them out of his sight. There was none left but the tribe of Judah.
There was none left but us. The southern kingdom stayed intact, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. But the Indian tribes was taken out of the sight of God, which was Samaria. They were taken out of the land and went into captivity under Assyria for 3 years. History, brothers. History. Read.
Also Judah kept not the commandments of the Lord their God, but walked in the statutes of Israel which they made. And the Lord rejected all the seed of Israel, and afflicted them, and delivered them into the hand of spoilers, until he had cast them out of his sight. For he rent Israel from the house of David, and they made Jeroboam the son of Nebat king. And Jeroboam drove Israel from following the Lord, and made them sin a great sin. For the children of Israel walked in all the sins of Jeroboam which he did. They departed not from them, until the Lord removed Israel out of his sight, as he had said by all his servants the prophets. So was Israel carried away out of their own land.
They were carried away out of their own land. Read.
To Assyria unto this day.
To Assyria as unto this day. When you go into the history, they stayed in Assyria for 3 years. The Assyrians were blessed by them being there and allowed the majority of them to go free. Ephraim, the Balikwa Taino Indians are from the tribe of Ephraim. Mexicans are from the tribe of Issachar. The Brazilians all the way up to Venezuela are from the tribe, they're from the tribe of Asher.